I'm pretty proud to be taking you back to where it all began for a show like ours. This is the guy. His name's Michael W. Smith, and it's always nice to have him back on the show for a catch-up. Michael W. Smith joins us on the air right now. Hello, Michael. Welcome back.
Thank you, Liam. Appreciate it.
I'm calling you from the future. Obviously, we're in the future here in Australia.
You are in the future. You're way ahead of us.
My life's like an episode of Back to the Future, to be honest with you. It's I'm talking to you from the future, but reliving my past at the same time.
I love it.
How have you been? Another album coming out. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. A year in the making. We finally got it done. It's finally out, and I'm pumped up about it. Really excited.
Do you make your own these days? I mean, I guess in the early days you're sitting in studios and, you're getting told and pulled and prodded. But do you have much control these days? Do you make it all yourself? How's it work?
Well, I did something really different this time. I mean, I've always had a team of people that's surrounding me, and really kind of a team effort. I switched labels. I'm on Capitol Records, for the first time, and this was definitely a team effort. But I did something very different than what I've done in the past. I decided that I would work with people that I've never worked with before.
Wow!
All these young kids, all these young writers, and young producers, and it paid off.
How scary was that?
It was a big leap of faith, I can tell you that.
Especially when you know what you've done for so long has worked. I mean, you're such a successful artist. You've had the right formula. You've done it right for so many years. What was going through your head? Why the change?
Well, I feel like I need to reinvent myself a bit. I've always been one to take risk a little bit. I love to sort of kind of take some gambles and try to do something unique and different. And I just felt like that I probably needed a little bit of breath of fresh air, honestly. All these young kids, some of these kids are writing some really cool stuff, and I'm thinking, okay, what if I could take the cool part of what they do and sort of marry it with what my strengths are, and maybe something beautiful can happen from that. I did, I wasn't convinced. I mean, I had enough faith to think it could, but it's always a risk. But man, it worked. I mean, it was tedious too. I mean, it was almost 120 song ideas to get 12, and so it was a lot of work and a lot of time going through all these songs and really narrowing it down to 12.
How many songs have you got? And we always talk about this elusive vault, all these songs in the vault that never get recorded, never get released. How many songs have you got that you just haven't used over the years for whatever reasons?
I probably have at least a few hundred, probably. Yeah, I would think at least that many.
What about this trip to Bahrain? Were you invited over by royalty to go and perform at some pretty special gigs?
Well, that was one for the books. That was awesome. I mean, the king signed off on it. I mean, he has to sign off on it, and he did. And it was just a concert of peace, and it was a council of people. It was a council. There was a Jew and a Hindu and a Catholic and a Muslim and a Christian, all on this council, and they invited me. I mean, what in the world? I still, when I think about it, I just think, what a miracle! I was told there were over 100 miracles how it even was possible, and I went, and it was just absolutely off the chart. I will never forget it the rest of my life. It's a top 5 for me.
Is it really?
Definitely.
Wow. Yeah. Have you got the rest of them ranked? Anything else up there that sort of, the career's been so long and so impressive. Anything else that you go, that was pretty special too?
I played Carnegie Hall. That was sort of a bucket list for me. Famous place in New York City. I played the Kennedy Center. That was kind of a bucket list. I met John Williams, who's my musical hero, the composer who scored all the Steven Spielberg films, Raiders of the Lost Ark and Star Wars. So I got to shake his hand because he had such a big impact on my life. I don't know what's next. I think I've done all the bucket list. I might go back to Royal Albert Hall. That would be another bucket list for me to go do that in London and do that with an orchestra and a choir. So we'll see if that happens next year.
Do you have it'd be so hard to narrow it down, but do you have a baby? Is there one song you go, that's my song? That's that, or I have to do it every gig. It's my favourite song. Which one of your own songs means the most to you?
Well, I'll give you a pop song and a worship song. Agnus Dei, I'll be singing for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And you know what? I still enjoy singing Place in This World.
Do you remember the first cassette you had pressed or LP, selling it out of the back of your van? Do you remember the first early days of selling albums?
I do, and it was with Amy Grant on the Age to Age tour. I had the Michael W. Smith Project, and I had one black T-shirt that said the Michael W. Smith Project, and that was it. And it was a lousy T-shirt. You threw it in the washer and dryer, and it shrunk up.
It was a cheap
T-shirt.
Cheap T-shirt, yeah.
Yeah.
Were they special albums when all of a sudden you realised people want to buy my music? How'd that make you feel?
It was pretty awesome. And it really was the project album, and it was really all because of two things. I think it was because of the song Friends, which Amy and I would end the show every night with that. And then I think it was that Amy gave me a platform. I opened up her shows for 2.5 years. Not a bad way to start a career.
I was in a show choir in high school, and we actually did, one of our regular sets included Friends. That was one of the songs we used to go, and we toured Australia singing that song.
Wow, yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's a great song. It's one of the best.
Well, thank you.
I'd wish I'd seen you and Amy sing it together. Hopefully that's on YouTube somewhere, is it?
It is on YouTube. Yeah. It sure is.
I know you came out to Australia a couple of years ago as well. I mean, what was it like coming back? You hadn't been out for a couple of decades. What was it like last time you were here?
It was amazing. Easter Fest was awesome.
Yeah.
We're coming back in 2015. We're the world tour will begin,
yes.
And we're going to make our way down for sure. There's that's definitely going to happen.
Hey, Michael, you're such an inspiration. You've done well, and the way you handle yourself is a real credit to you, your wife, and your family. Good luck with the new album, 15 million albums and counting, and we could have you on this show every week, hey? Always a pleasure to catch up.
Thank you, Liam. I appreciate the time. Blessings. We'll see you in 2015.